So look at all of these standards. For those, I've sent you all an email for Khan Academy. If you go to Khan Academy and you type in these standards, at least the G-CO-2.6, you will have practice problems for that. All right. A reflection across line M, called the line of reflection, is a transformation with the following properties. If point A is on the reflection line, then the image of A is A itself. If a point B is not on line M, then line M is what kind of segment? Perpendicular bisector of BB prime. So if I were to connect these 2 points and I were somehow able to get the reflection line, if this is my reflection line M, then what do we know about let's call this point of intersection N. What do I know about CN and C prime N? What do we know about those two segments? They're congruent. Then what do I know about the angle formed here? It's a right angle. Notice the orientation of the vertices are opposite. The pre-image is counterclockwise. Wasn't paying attention when I wrote these. Counterclockwise, and the image is clockwise. So if I say triangle ABC, oh, just kidding, it is clockwise. If I say ABC, I'm going in a clockwise direction, and that's going to map to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime, and if I trace those, that's clockwise. A, B, C, is that clockwise? Yeah. And that's clockwise. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Thank you. This is counterclockwise. I'm saying, oh my gosh, it all falls apart. All right. You all are sharp. Thank you. All right. So now look at this notation. All right. It is capital R. Okay. Capital R means reflection. This is the line of the reflection line, and this is what we are reflecting. Tells us that point P was reflected over line M, and its image is P prime. So that is the image, that is the pre-image, it is a reflection, and it is over line M. So that's real important that you understand that notation. I'll make it bigger. We've got R, this is my reflection line, this is my pre-image, and it maps it onto P. So we reflected P over line M and got P prime. So what we're going to work with today is reflecting it over horizontal and vertical lines. And then Monday we'll start to think about reflecting it over non-horizontal and vertical lines, because the EOC expects you to go here. So even with what Pearson did and changed and updating their textbook, they didn't do a good enough piece. All right. Oh, so here is our in the reflection column of your foldable. It is an isometry, meaning it is rigid. I'll put rigid in parentheses. That means it is congruent. All right. Because it is rigid, the rigidness will preserve length. It will preserve angle measure. It will change the orientation. Okay, one's going clockwise, the other one will go counterclockwise. It maps each point of the pre-image to only one point on the image. And really, really important is the reflection line is the perpendicular bisector of each segment that connects the pre-image point with its corresponding image point. Gotta know this. Gotta know this. That's all about what we're going to be doing soon. Changing the orientation, knowing that reflections change orientation will help you identify the type of translation. And this means that W is reflected over Y equal 2 line, and its image is W prime. So now this requires that you understand that you have to graph horizontal and vertical lines. So we've kind of started you on that on the last unit, and it's going to be really important on this unit. If you get them mixed up, will your reflections be wrong? Yes. So your notation should be on this little foldable so that when we get them all mixed up, you'll be able to look at them in case you forget what capital R is, because unfortunately, we're going to have a lowercase r. So the capitalization and the lowercase set tells you two totally different things. Say that again? That means that's what's being reflected. I could do this. I could do R of x equals 1, and in parentheses I could have triangle ABC. What does that mean? That means reflect triangle ABC over line x equals 1. This was just a point. Okay, these are online if you need more time. So now we're going to form the following reflections of P over the y-axis. So here's my y-axis. How many units is P from the y-axis? 3 to the left, so its image point will be 3 to the right. If I want to reflect over the x-axis, how high is P from the x-axis? So then that means I'm going to have to go down 4 to get its image point over the x-axis. All right, now this says reflect P over the reflection line now is y equals 1. How do I draw y equals 1? Is it horizontal or vertical? It's horizontal, passing through the y-axis at 1. Now, how many units is this away from that line? 3. So now we're going to go, it's above, so we're going to go 3 below this line. 1, 2, 3. So that is its reflection over y equals 1. What kind of line is x equal negative 1? It is vertical, so I'm going to go to negative 1, draw a vertical line. That's my reflection line. How many units away from this vertical line is P? 2. So I'm going to move 2 units in the other direction, and that's my new P prime. What do you think? Okay, again, this is so important that you know that y equals is horizontal, and that x equals is vertical. So that's one of the things they're going to ask you to do on your homework. To reflect a figure, you're going to reflect each point. So if I want to reflect this triangle over the x-axis, then how high is this point? 1, so I have to go 1 down. Let's name this ABC. So now this is going to be A prime. How high is B? 3, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 below. There is B prime. And you want to label your vertices as you do it. Now, C is on the reflection line. How high or below is C? 0, right. So it stays there. So now if I want to connect my dots, I will have, so C is C prime. You with me? That's what that one thing earlier said, that if a point is on the reflection line, so this is C and C prime. Is that hard? So now if we want to do it on the y-axis, we've got A, B, C. This doesn't move, so it's its own reflection. But A is 1, 2, 3, 4 units left. 1, 2, 3. There's A prime. C is 1 unit to the right, so we go 1 unit to the left. That is C prime. So this is going to look like this. So now if you were to fold on the y-axis, should the black figure fall on top of the blue figure? Yes. Yeah, but it'll happen. Because when you fold, this blue falls on that black. Does that make sense? All right. So can you look at this? Each triangle in the diagram has a reflection of another triangle across the given lines. Triangle 1 was reflected over what line? M. And it falls on top of what? Triangle 3. Triangle 2 was reflected over what line? K. So I guess I should say the reflection of K of triangle 2 is what? Triangle 4. That's the way they're going to want you to write it. Is that easy? All right. So your assignment is A28. Did you want another day for A27? Or are you prepared to turn your homework in? If you're prepared to turn your homework in, would you please leave it on the desk? Otherwise, I'll collect both 27 and 28 on Monday. You have a test, a quiz on Tuesday. It's going to be on translations with what I talked about today, and probably I'll have you translate something on a graph. If you borrowed any equipment, could you please return it?